Is it a good time for you to get inside the trucking business and become an owner operator? Let's talk about that. Did you guys know that Lil Dirk had a trucking business?
A lot of rappers from these cities who popping, ain't popping, who come on here talking that big boy stuff. It's like, if rapping stop right now, a lot of y'all going broke. A lot of y'all gonna be broke. It's like, what you gonna do now? Like, I got my own trucking company, own real estate company, like.
Wait. This is actually interesting. You have your own trucking company.
Yes.
How many trucks?
Oh, we started off with 2. We got like 8 or 9.
You got 9, the big rigs?
Yes, 18-wheelers.
I find that just absolutely crazy that Lil Dirk got a trucking company. If you would have told me that, I probably would have never believed it. That just goes to show that trucking is filled with many different personalities and is definitely a place where people look at as a big opportunity. Now, this video is super old, so I'm definitely wondering how his business is doing right now. Now, let's talk about you, the average person thinking about getting started in the trucking space. I know you're expecting me to say no and bring you some doom and gloom because that's exactly what everybody is saying. And yes, the answer is a no, but let's go through this checklist really quick. Do you have freight already lined up? Do you have multiple streams of income, or is trucking going to be your only means of survival? Are you coming into this business with no money? What type of trucking are you trying to get into? Are we talking about hot shot, box truck, reefer, dry van, heavy haul, overdimensional? If your answer to all these questions is I don't know, or is just not looking to be in your favor, then you do not need to become an owner operator or start a trucking business. See, the thing about it is, no matter how much you ask this question or what year, everybody will always say no. I remember in 2017 when I was on my way to becoming an owner operator, these were the same questions that I was asking, and there were nobody that was telling me, yes, it's a great time. The answers were always, the rates are too low, it's a bad time, stay out of it. So don't expect that to change. I only remember one time where people were making a lot of money and they were encouraging everybody they know to get into this business. And we all know what time I'm talking about, and I'm not going to say any key words on this channel. Yeah, that time. There were people making so much money that guys were looking to start a business with 2 and 3 trucks. Rates were literally through the roof. I remember rates on reefers going down the road locally making $2,000. But right now, you're lucky to get $500 for the same load. Now, outside of all those things, nobody will truly encourage you to get inside this business. But they never seem to take the time out and truly explain to you the ins and outs. And this is for good reason. When people don't encourage you to hop in, they're not being disingenuous. It's just very difficult and complicated to explain in a short conversation what some people took about 10 years to learn. And just because you're asking these questions, it doesn't mean that the person that you're talking to is a good teacher. For example, my uncle has been in trucking for about 40 years, and I remember times when I really wanted to know information, but when I would ask him, the answers that he would give me, I just wouldn't like them. I hope my uncle does not see this video. Confession time. All right, so I actually have anxiety, so I tend to overthink a lot, and I'm just sitting here, replaying what I just said of me not liking the advice that my uncle was giving me, and it just doesn't give me the best vibe. So what I actually mean is that my uncle is from a different world, right? His trucking industry experience was just way different than mine's. He was actually buying trucking lanes and his loads were guaranteed. So around the time when I wanted to start, the information that he wanted to offer me was just really incompatible to my situation. So, I really mean well, guys, and I know my uncle meant well. But yeah, back to the video. I just wanted to admit that, and let me pat myself on the back for, being strong enough to admit that to you guys. But let me just explain to you what I mean so he doesn't take this the wrong way, just in case you see it, Unc. The answers that he would give was just not relatable to my situation. I was a company driver looking to become an owner operator, and he had been an owner operator for about 40 years. He had a 40-year head start. The trucking industry is totally different by this time. Another thing was he was OTR and I wanted to be local. So unfortunately, all the advice that he was giving me was just not compatible to my situation at the time. This industry is very volatile and it's always changing constantly. New laws are being passed and rates are fluctuating all the time. But guys, these are all the things that you need to be made aware of when you're thinking about making a move like this. Trucking can be a great lucrative business, but it's all about having connections and being educated. The best advice I can give you is stop paying attention to the truck and start thinking about what you're hauling. In other words, the money is not in the truck, it's in the trailer. And if you really think about it, what is a truck without the trailer? It's a tractor. No, that's not what I mean, but if your wheels are not turning, you're not earning, guys. And unfortunately, I see people make this mistake time and time again. They're so focused and consumed with the truck that they don't start thinking about trailers until about 2 to 3 years in. This is when guys start to think about moving from dry van to intermodal or in flatbed. These thoughts start to come to your mind. My strategy is very simple. Start paying attention to this from the beginning. Like for example, knowing what I know today, if I was to do it all over again, I would have went straight into dump trucks. The thing I like about dump trucks is the fact that they can get government contracts. Of course, other trailers can get contracts too, but when we're talking about dump trucks, it's very, very common. I was looking at a contract the other day for dump trucks worth about $500,000. And this was right here local in my city. If you compare the price of a dump truck to a tractor trailer, you'll start realizing real quick that they hold their value. And this is for very good reason. Those guys are making money. And let me be careful with that because somebody can hop in the comment section and say anybody can make money. But the difference is the dump truck operation is attached to infrastructure. Whenever something is being built, they're going to need dump trucks. And that's what I love about the dump trucks. They're partnered in with another industry. It's not like dry van where the freight can be one out of a million things. With dump trucks, you're going to be hauling dirt where people need you to haul dirt. And besides that, my next door neighbor drive dump trucks, and no matter how volatile trucking was, he was always steady. You're probably wondering what type of money are we talking about? $4,000 to $5,000 a week. Take home probably 38 to about 45. Winston, that's not no money. See, that's where you're wrong. You remember the tortoise and the hare? Tortoise. Why that word sounds so weird? Of course you do, but to make it simple and plain, slow and steady wins the race. At the end of the year, when you're sitting back counting your money, you start to realize very quick, like, man, I didn't do as much as I thought I was doing. You might have had good weeks here and good weeks there, but overall, it wasn't consistent. You weren't making 10 grand every single week. But imagine making $4,000 to $5,000 a week all year. Now you understand, right? Listen, I don't want to make this video longer and dragged out than I already have. I'm probably doing a terrible job. But if you want to know more and you have questions, drop down in the comment section and hey, I might make a part 2. And if you need me to go more in depth, I'll be more than happy to do that on the next video. Now, with that being said, if you're not subscribed to this channel, you're missing out. Drop me a comment, a like, and a follow.